Okay, here we go. And Judy.
I am Judy Barkley, a member of the community who happens to be blind and rides both fixed route bus and paratransit.
Great. I did want to note that one of our committee members, Larry, has removed himself from the committee, so he will not be joining us in the future. So our next item is the SSTAC minutes from last year, February 24th, 2025. Were there any comments or questions on the minutes from last year?
No, they look good.
We just need a motion to accept the minutes in a second.
This is Jay Coughlin. I'll move to approve minutes from February 24th.
Jesse Horgan, I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
Okay, so those minutes do pass for the record. And then our next item is the unmet transit needs assessment for 26-27. I did want to make a correction. The resolution that was included in the draft has a different number. So if anybody wants to make a note of that, that resolution number, which will be presented at the board meeting in April, is going to be 2025/26-08 instead of 07. Then just as a reminder, we switched, last year was the first year we kind of switched to a spring SSTAC versus, I don't know what for it. Fall or so, or?
Yeah, late November, early December.
Okay, yeah. So and it coincides with the fall UTN assessment process. So we get that ready and then present it in the spring. Next, I was just going to go ahead and read the board item as a summary to remind everybody kind of what the process is. This is what I will be presenting at the board meeting. We just had somebody join. We'll get Hi, Laura. Laura, can you hear us? Okay, well, we'll get Laura when she's available. I'll go ahead and just read this briefly. As administrator for Transportation Development Act funds for Butte County, BCAG is required to annually compile and submit unmet transit needs assessment to the state. Outreach for this process period began on October 23rd, 2025, culminating in a public hearing before the Board of Directors on December 11, 2025. Comments were received via social media, email, letters, and phone. And the assessment in findings is what we provided the draft, and there's a link. Staff met with Social Service Transportation Advisory Council today to review the findings. And as long as what we decide today is approved, the SSTAC will approve and recommend that the Board of Directors approve the finding that there are no unmet transit needs that are reasonable to meet. And the finding is required before TDA funds can be used for streets and roads after public transit has been fully funded. So we're, staff is requesting that the resolution be adopted by the board and that today the SSTAC approves the draft and to be a final document for the assessment. So that takes us to any comments or questions about the draft UTN. I didn't know that we did that. Oh, no. So there was comments and everything that's noted that are noted in the draft document. Just wanted to again say if anybody has any comments or questions about any of the information in the draft.
Jesse Horgan, I have a question. There's under the stops routes requested, there's Paradise, Oroville, Route 24, Park Paradise. Was there any mention of the service to Sacramento or the airport?
I don't believe we received any comments about that service related to the UTN process. It is in process as a new service, so you'll be hearing more about that just on its own.
Victoria Proctor here. Jesse, any comments that were received this year related to Chico to SAC would most likely not have been reported in the unmet transit needs because we are moving forward separately with the Chico to SAC service. Otherwise, it would be recorded here under stops routes requested.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, there's nothing more. Any other questions or comments?
So are we able to approve this today? Or do we have to wait for a quorum? How does that work?
No, this is it. So it's a committee, it's not an actual, there's a little bit of different rules for that committee, but versus the board. So if you guys, people have the opportunity and they're not here, you can't control that. So.
Well, this is Jake Offlin, unless Judy has any other comments, it looks fine. Pretty much similar to last year's, and I'd be happy to make a motion to approve as is.
Okay.
I have no questions, and I will second that motion.
Okay. So
Sorry, Judy Barclay.
Okay. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so that draft has been accepted and will be published as final for this reporting cycle. Okay, so that takes us to number 4. I'll present some things. This is Amy. And then just some brief points. Victoria can chime in if she wants to elaborate on anything. And then if you guys have any questions or comments or ideas, this would be the time to do that. And then it sounds like Jesse, you had something you wanted to talk about specifically too. So we'll just kind of get going through our topics here. I just wanted to note that the passenger portal and the rides on demand launched last year, and people have been using that. And I would say successfully. Yeah. And we have had comments of how people are happy to have that tool. So that kind of opens up some possibilities for our passengers. We are doing launching intercity paratransit. It's going to be medical only based for now. Between Chico and Paradise and Oroville, there'll be 2 separate services. And Elle, our marketing consultant, did want me to mention that kits, like media kits or information kits, will be coming out to our community contacts soon. So we have a big list of people in the community that we do outreach with, and they will all be getting specific information kits, media kits, kind of how to get the service going with their constituents. And yeah, we're just wanting to support all the community contacts as they do that. So, so that service, we have microtransit that we're going to introduce in the Paradise and Gallia area. This means that 40 and 41 will actually be consolidated into 41. It'll still cover all the same stops and everything that 40 did, but it's just going to be 41 because that's the one that always goes to Gallia. So we're just going to reduce it to that one route up there as far as the naming of it, but it's still going to serve the same stops and that the 40 and 41 do together.
It actually won't. It serves all the same stops all along Skyway up to the Lake Ridge Circle area. It will no longer do the Clark Road loop that 41 has and 40 has currently been doing, because that will be served by microtransit instead. So this will improve access for residents of the Ridge who need to get around the Ridge or need to get down to Chico or Orville.
Yes, sorry, I need to be clear though. It's the same area and the same stops in the same area, it's not necessarily the same. And then our smart current transition is underway. That's going to be fully in effect by the end of June. So these are the new smart cards. They're replacing the ones we traditionally had, and that will be people can start exchanging their old paper passes for the smart cards for products on the Metro Transit app right now. And we will also be sending out more specific information about how to do that. And we started the marketing campaign online for that changeover. And then that is all I had for specific points. Did you want to? And then, so any Judy, it sounds like you might want to say something or?
Yep, you saw that I unmuted. So I have a question about rides on demand. How many people are using that so far?
Currently just you.
Currently just me. Okay.
That's why I brought Victoria in here.
Yeah. Okay.
We need her.
And thank you, Victoria. You've been responsive in getting in contact with the agency, and yes, they extended the length of time that it took. You know, they've been responsive, and I like it. And yes, it is working really well for me. I do see where this is going to be difficult for some of the paratransit riders, because you have to be somewhat tech savvy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I love the fact that we will still have the CSRs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So rides on demand and passenger portal are meant to supplement the CSRs.
Yeah.
They're not meant to fully take the place of the
Right.
phone network that we have.
Right.
So rides on demand will be there to help with the inner city trips
Yes.
for paratransit. They will be there to help. It will be there for microtransit. It will be there as a supplement to the CSRs
Yes.
for the in-town paratransit trips. But I definitely understand that not everyone will be able to use it, because you do have to be able to work a smartphone
Yes.
in order to use it. And we do
Yes.
have a lot of people who use paratransit who cannot do that.
Correct. Now, I'm also a bit concerned for what are we calling them? The micro transit, especially up on the ridge. You've got a lot of seniors, etc., and this is going to be difficult for them to utilize.
How so?
I'm thinking of my mom. My mom would not be able to do technology just flabbergasts her. If she would take her time and slow down, she could probably work her way through it. But I see this. So is there going to be another way for micro? Say the name again of what we're officially calling it.
We're calling it Beeline Flex.
Flex, okay. Is there another way for Flex people to be able to contact and schedule a ride?
Because of how, because of the on-demand and in like immediate nature of Beeline Flex, no, it needs to happen through the app. However, it will still be within the service zone for Beeline Plus for paratransit. So if
Right.
someone does need extra time and extra assistance, and they cannot use that curb-to-curb service that Flex is, Beeline Plus paratransit will always still be an option.
Okay. Okay. Just be aware that I think some people are going to really struggle with. I struggled with it at first, and I'm fairly tech savvy. And it does take some time to navigate that system, and people might get frustrated and give up on it and not utilize the service. So I'm just, there are times when I'm trying to book, well, granted, paratransit and Flex are going to be slightly different. I get that. But I recently had to try 6 times to be able to get a ride that fit. I had to re-enter everything 6 times because it was giving me way too soon or way too late or whatever. So I'm just saying it's not a perfect system.
I appreciate that feedback. You're right, it's not a perfect system, but we will, I'll take that and we'll try and make it better.
Yeah. I am still also struggling with it telling me on Wednesday evenings there are no rides available, and then I call the CSR and they are able to schedule me a ride. So as Victoria and I have discussed, if it's available from the CSR, it should also be available on the Rides on Demand app.
It should be, this is Victoria to answer that, but that is not an issue with the app. That's an issue with how our dispatch has the vehicle set up for Wednesday evenings.
Yes.
So
And that's what that's the
operation.
conclusion I've come to as well. So just alerting you to that there is a glitch in the system between the app and Beeline itself. So, okay, thank you.
Thanks, Judy. This is Amy. Jesse, do you want to go ahead with your comments and information?
Yeah, so, yes, Jesse Horgan from Chico State. I am just wanting to put into the discussion the results of our transportation survey. So we had over 1,300 people respond to the transportation survey. 500 and some comments touched on the Beeline, most frequently talking about frequency of service, specifically more service between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. when many students who do evening classes are leaving the library and trying to get back to their apartments. There is several comments about the time they spend waiting for the Beeline being time that they can't afford to spend waiting. So this is in some of the lines that have hour headways. And then we ask students, faculty, and staff where would they like new bus routes, where they feel the Beeline has opportunity to pick up more riders. The biggest answer, of course, was the Sacramento Airport or the Sacramento train station, which is being addressed and is in the planning stages. But some interesting things came out from the comments, 527 comments about where new bus routes should be. And they mention a lot of the shopping areas, making it easier to get to Winco, easier to get to the Trader Joe's, making it easier to get to the Chico Marketplace. And then we also had comments about more frequent service along the busiest corridors, so that if you are coming to downtown, coming to campus, going to a shopping area, you can get there and back in timely fashion. So I just wanted to add those in, and I've sent the slides along from where our responses were summarized for future discussion.
Okay, thank you. Make a note of that in the minutes for sure. And is there, do you want to send any kind of a narrative or report? You can send that to one of us.
Jesse Horgan again. I'm open to whatever you think is best. I sent it along to you, but if I can prepare something that is better for the board or for future planning, I'm happy to do so. Well,
yeah, maybe just a shorter, like a summary of those comments, 1 or 2 pages would be great.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
And then I believe all of you are aware, but if you're not, we did just, this is Victoria, we did just enter into a contract with Jarrett Walker and Associates for a comprehensive redesign of Chico and Oroville's fixed route system. So it's an analysis and potential redesign to bring the Beeline in line with not only where it is today, rather than where it was 30 years ago, but also with where the cities are going and where people actually need service. There's a lot of low-income housing that we're not currently servicing because it didn't exist 20 years ago when the system was designed, and it was never adapted. So Jesse, I know you received an invite to the stakeholder engagement meeting in a month on May 18th. This is the start of the public engagement process, where we will have 4 back-to-back days of comprehensive. What should Beeline do? Should it be a rider-based service? Should it be a coverage-based model? Where are the priorities within our community for transit riders as well as elected officials and city officials? So the first day, May 18th, is a public outreach. It's a stakeholder engagement where we've invited members of public social service groups, as well as the local governments and the county to come and talk to us about transit and about what matters in our communities. The next 3 days are more targeted, where it's specific to city planning staff and some elected officials, so that we can talk more specifically about where the cities are growing, how they're growing, and where we need to accommodate that growth with public transit today. Jay, if that's something that you'd be interested in joining, that first day event, I'll send you an email and you can let me know. Judy, we will make sure that that you are aware when we start doing the generalized outreach over the summer. And we'll make sure that the SSTAC is aware when we start doing that generalized outreach as well. We don't want, like, this isn't going to be a free for all with just anyone and everyone in the room. We want to make sure that this is specific people with like their current jobs and with that background knowledge of city planning and how these groups of people, trans-independent communities, work and operate within the fixed route. So it's a little bit more in-depth than specific use cases. It's more like the actual planning of the routes and where they should go. So I just wanted to throw that out there and let you all know that that is happening and we are doing that. And like I said, if you can't come, that's fine. Or this is literally just the very beginning of the process. There will be ample opportunity for further.
Do we know those dates in May?
It's May 18th.
Thank you.
This is Jesse Horgadian. Yes, looking forward to participating in the process. Thank you for the invite.
Okay, Jamie, did you have anything you wanted to talk about?
No, everything's good here. Is the process you're talking about, is the new consultant based off of the work that the previous consultant had done, or is this kind of separate?
This is separate.
Okay, excellent.
Great. Well, unless there's any other comments or questions, I think we are kind of done.
Well, thanks all. Appreciate it.
Everybody's comfortable with ending the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Yes, as always, just reach out to me or Victoria if you ever have any questions.
Will do.
Thank you, ladies.